Thursday, California dreaming on such a wind. AOA Podcast. Oh my goshness. Monday episode. Live chat up and running. So good to see all of those familiar faces in the live chat. Robin, Merck, Miss Justice, Rhonda. Hello to everybody who is joining us live on YouTube or Facebook. Appreciate that as always. Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, 8:30, 8:45 Eastern Standard Time. It's nice to be beamed into your homes. Replay crew, shout out to the Spotify people, all the people who comment over there and drop some love to us via the Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We appreciate you guys as always. A whole slew of lovely topics to get us into the episode here, including the Prince Andrew scandal that continues, more removal of Prince Andrew's legacy from the royal family. Meghan Markle continues to be embarrassing. Thank the Lord. Ben Shapiro versus Tucker Carlson. Things are getting heated on the conservative side of things. And we got that new Dunkin' holiday menu to look forward to. Oh my gosh, my friends. That's a podcast. Where's the thingamajig? How come the intro's not playing? Okay, did that play like 4 times? I'm not entirely sure. All right, looks like we got some bugs, some glitches in the matrix, but we're here, we're together, and my friends, that is all that matters. All right, over to the Prince Andrew scandal that continues. Another day, another Prince Andrew story, and this time around, we are learning. Oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna fix this thing. Okay, we are learning that Prince Andrew has been vetoing. Yes, vetoing the notion, the very idea of any sort of mention of victims in any of the royal family stories. He's been trying to pull out or alter, which is kind of a weird thing to be discussing, but he vetoed support for abuse victims and required sign off on any victim references in royal family communications from the past. I don't even know why he had this much power to begin with. You know, I mean, the second this all got found out, he should have been stripped of titles. He should have been pulled from public. I mean, all of this stuff. He should have never been able to do that debacle of an interview going back to, what was that, 2019 at this point? He should have never been able to do that from the get-go. But now we get the story, this again from sources close to the royal family, that he was allowed to veto support for abuse victims and required sign off on previous victim references. Day before Halloween, King Charles initiated a formal process to remove Andrew's titles. We've been talking about the last couple of episodes. And this episode, we find out that he will be now henceforth known as Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Mountbatten. Mountbatten. Mountbatten Windsor. I didn't think you could become a bigger... I don't know. Mountbatten? That's an awful... What a terrible... Again, I like Andrew the pedophile Windsor. That to me is more fitting. But if I called King Charles and he said to me, and although I appreciate the podcast, you don't get a vote, which I was a little upset about. But in the end, I felt like, well, he's the king. And then I realized that I had accidentally phoned a Burger King in Wisconsin. But kudos to that manager for keeping me on the phone for a good 45 minutes as I made my case. But he stuck to his guns, I will say. I mean, I think that's how they get the fries so crispy. They have a way of doing things and they don't stray from it. So good for the fine folks over at Burger King. Today also came the little added note that Andrew has been removed from the royal family website. So he is gone. I mean, all of this, and I keep the focus here, all of it is, I feel and I hope and I think, according to some rumblings that we have heard, that investigations have begun again, that this is all basically like, why is this happening right now? Well, because it's all going towards Andrew will be, investigated, arrested, put on trial, however you want to say it, but that's kind of where it's all going towards. And the royal family is positioning themselves so that he's as not a part of them as could possibly be when that day comes, when that day goes down. So it's exciting stuff. Again, if you've been, following the Epstein saga from the beginning, like we have, and you've, seen how horrible Virginia Giuffre was treated during all of this stuff, and Andrew settling in their case, and that whole, remember when she brought that case against him, and we were so excited. And I remember the day that she settled, and I was so disappointed. Again, I totally understand victims. You can't expect them to fight all the way sometimes. She took the money. I can't blame her for that, but it was a little like we were hoping he would get his comeuppance there. And I don't think it's that late to hope that he still gets his comeuppance, Queen Camilla, Prince William also are supporting these current decisions from the king. Not that makes a difference, but several outlets are reporting that this is kind of a big move, and that the king has the support of the senior royals in the family. So good for them. As I'm going to call this the downfall of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Mountbatten. What a dumb name. It's the stupidest name I've ever heard. Mountbatten. Was that his original? I didn't even research it. I don't even care. But I wonder, is that his original middle name? Mountbatten? It was terrible. I read a story. I did enough on this. I read a story today about what Prince Andrew had to go through in order to get the Queen's corgis. And I was just like, this is too much. I was like, this is why they let this. It's just 2 dogs. Feed the dogs, walk the dogs. But the Queen had some high-ass standards for those corgis, which I get. I just wish she would have some high-ass standards for her children. Might have kept Andrew out of this whole Epstein debacle, if that would have been taken care of a little bit better. But anyway, Miss Justice thinks Mountbatten is a place. I think so, too. Well, Windsor's a place, too, right? They like to name themselves after locations, those crazy English people. Again, they gave us the muffin, and then they went off and did a whole bunch of weird stuff. So I don't know what they're doing, but you'll never hear me call myself Anthony Queens, Anthony Brooklyn Queens Expressway. In fact, that's how I'd like for you to I want you to refer to me from now on as Anthony LIE. That'll be my little thing. Hampton's aunt. I don't know. They just have a weird, I don't know what it is. I mean, how would you like it if we started calling Robin Ohidaho? That wouldn't be, Robin from Ohidaho. That might be something. Robin Mountbatten Ohidaho. I don't know if that's got a great ring to it. You know what I mean? I just don't know if it really works all that well. But listen, the English, they're doing their thing, I guess. Speaking of which, we switch over to the other embarrassing side of the royal family, and that's the great Meghan Markle. Another day, another great Meghan Markle embarrassment, if you will. Meghan this time around, well, there's a couple of things. There's 2 things. There's one that was the cringy World Series clip, which I'm sure everybody has seen by now. It was shared on Meghan Markle's stories, where she jumps up and down in celebration of the Dodgers winning the World Series and beating the Blue Jays. As it turns out, I guess Harry was a fan of the Blue Jays, and Harry did not look too pleased in the Instagram story. And Meghan Markle was being accused of being a fake in this, and it all being staged. And it's like, well, obviously it's staged. I mean, it's social media. I mean, somebody has to walk to the end of the room and prop the camera up, so that they can record the moment of the final out and the World Series clinching victory. But what drives me crazy about that is like, it's Johnny come lately stuff. Like Meghan Markle, again, she's trying to be PR savvy. She's trying to, she goes to the World Series, how she got herself in there, I don't know. Oh, by the way, I also learned that Meghan Markle was not only sitting in front of Sandy Koufax, but was sitting in front of Magic Johnson, who owns 2% of the Dodgers or something crazy like that. So she had a better seat than the damn owner, than one of the owners, which is a little, you would think the owner would be like, but I guess It was a big thing having one of the Royals there, who coincidentally got booed. But then they're both wearing Dodgers hats. And supposedly Harry is a Blue Jays fan. Like, I'm never wearing another team's hat. Like, I'm a fan of the Mets. I'm not going to go to a game that the Mets are playing against another team and wear the other team's hat. I just won't wear a hat. Just don't wear the hat. But he's in there like wearing the Dodger hat. I don't know if that's part of the whole deal or whatever, but if I'm going in as a visiting team and I know like, oh, whatever, okay, I'm a celebrity and they're putting me in the thing, I'm just going to be like, I'm just not going to wear it. Just, I appreciate the seats and everything. I'm just not going to wear the hat like any fair weather fan. And I know this sounds like trivial and stupid and like boneheaded masculinity kind of stuff, but loyalty is the thing. Like I'm not rolling into, any stadium, any American League stadium where they're playing the Mets in the World Series and I'm wearing that opposing team's hat. Like, not happening ever. I might, the best you're going to get out of me is I won't wear the Mets hat. Okay. I won't wear my team's hat because I'm in your stadium. I'll just show up in, a plain t-shirt and jeans and not cause a problem for you. Elaine refused to take the hat off. Exactly, Robin. Thank you. Well put. I'm not gonna refuse to take the Orioles hat off. I think it was the Orioles hat, right? And then he's sitting there all pissed off, but he looked really pissed in the video. He looked really, really pissed in the video as she's jumping up and down and screaming over the World Series win, which is like, again, I don't know Meghan. I don't know if anybody does. She's like the fakest person we have. Is she really this big of a baseball fan? I've never really seen her at a Dodger game before. Now all of a sudden she shows up for one of the games of the World Series, and it's enough for her to put like a celebration video out where she's like rubbing it in her husband's face. I can't feel any worse for Prince Harry. It's just like every day it's a new reason to just feel bad for this poor man. It stinks for him. I just feel for him every time. We've all been, I don't know, maybe we haven't all, but I've been with somebody who didn't know what they were talking about and then watch them like get crazy in an argument and when they're like clearly wrong, and you got to kind of be like, it's like this, like, I feel like that's him like all the time. That's just him all the time. Maybe his top half roots for the Dodgers and the bottom half for Toronto. Perhaps. Maybe. Am I being very preachy? I apologize, Bird. I apologize. Paul says he likes it rubbed in his face. Okay. Perhaps. Maybe that's, if Prince Harry likes getting things rubbed in his face, then I think there's a chair that we all have that he'd probably like to sit in. I think he'd be interested in some of the chairs that we've become obsessed with on this very podcast. Who are we nominating, Robin? Rhonda? This one, the top half, bottom half nominated? Okay. Nominated. It's in there. All right, now I got to stop going to see. The questions are getting worse. The questions are getting very algorithm jelly. They're getting very shadow banny right now. I think I've become, Bird, more judgy of Meghan, and I feel like I don't want to. I got a lot. Okay, let me give you another. For instance, here's the other thing Meghan Markle is making some news for. She put out a new like recipe, if you will. I think this has been taken down already. I'll have to check. I got her Instagram up. But she put out a recipe for, people are calling it mulled water. Have you ever heard of mulled water? I've never heard of this. But she uses a $16 spiced cider mulling spice kit from her lifestyle brand As Ever to create a quote unquote really cozy warm beverage that everyone can enjoy. She brings a large pot of water to a boil, takes it off the heat, adds this spice kit for $16 on her website. Then she takes the water and dumps it into a cup. She puts cinnamon sticks, lemon, and a teaspoon of her $28 honey. And she explains that you could add a spirit of choice to make it a little bit more grown up. But also says that the drink is most enjoyed it's most soothing without the addition of alcohol, especially in the cold weather. People on X took her to task, saying it's just mulled water. Why wouldn't you add one person said, why wouldn't you add spices to apple cider or wine, not water? Another critic cringed Meghan's beverage to the simmer pot that real estate agents put on the stove to make houses smell lovely during viewings. Okay, again, I live out in the Hamptons. I actually know this is a very prominent real estate agent in the Hamptons would do this all the time. Cinnamon, nutmeg, like a bunch of like holiday spice stuff. They would boil it in water on the sink, on the stove, on the sink. They'd boil this on the stove and it would give the house like that warm, inviting aroma. It's literally like the tool that real estate agents use to tickle your senses and let you feel like you're at home. And this idiot is like, start drinking it, Now, look, nothing's going to happen to you if you put cinnamon and lemon in water. But at the same time, to these critics' point, like, yeah, apple cider would be better. Tea would be, you're making a less fancy tea. Again, I ask you, hearkening back to the days when we were putting sprinkles on blueberries, Meghan, do we really need your help with some of these recipes? I want a warm, festive drink. Let me see. What does Meghan Markle have to say? Oh, boil water together with a $16 spice kit and cinnamon and lemon. And now we don't need, we used to have standards when it came to lifestyle brands. Martha Stewart must be spitting in her grave, and she's not even dead yet. I just feel like every time Meghan Markle tweets something, Martha Stewart jumps in a grave and spins around. My God. Julia Child must be spinning. Julia Child put so much time and effort into creating and taking a cuisine and making it common. Like, she put work in. She had a style to her. She had a charisma. She had a mission. She had a goal. Meghan's like, well, can we boil it in water? I don't. And here's the other thing too. I know how we got here. I feel like I know how this demented brain works. In her ever search to come up with another product to scam her fans out of, she figured this spice kit was an easy thing to buy from somebody, repackage, mark up quadruple the price, and sell to these idiots. Like, she's not even thinking about the end result or the purpose anymore. It's just, what can we easily grab from Temu or Amazon and mark up and sell to these morons that follow me? And a spice kit was probably the easiest thing. And then she thought, well, I'll just boil it and I'll show people and we'll boil. But again, use your tea, I don't even understand. Like, anything is better than plain water. So what are you, 90? There's like something about when you hit 90, all of a sudden people just want hot water with lemon. Like, hot water with lemon is like a 90-year-old drink. Like, at some point, tea and coffee is just too much. And you just go, just boil some water. Let me tell you something. If you're drinking hot water with lemon, it's time, it's time to reevaluate things. It's time to. That's how I know I'll get. Like, I noticed there are just certain things that I can't control, like a historical documentary. It doesn't even have to be good, but you put a historical documentary on the TV, and I'm just gonna like a fly to light, like a gnat to just those. I'm just like, oh, I know what happened during World War II. Am I going to discover something new? And sometimes I do, and that's the problem. We're just like, oh, just give me this documentary. Just whatever it is. It doesn't even matter. Whatever, If Meghan Markle made a World War II documentary, I would stick around and watch it. It would probably be anybody else's documentary that she would just put her little, a little bow on. Be like, let me take this Ken Burns documentary and I'll put a bow on it. It'll be the Meghan Markle's Ken Burns documentary. Fucking idiot. I mean, water with the spice kit in it. Who's thinking that? Who's watching that going, I got to pick up that $16 spice kit? One person on Twitter was like, she's making us drink potpourri now. I mean, essentially that's what potpourri is. It's just, that's really, I don't even get it. I don't get it. I don't understand how people still find her any way, shape, or form appealing. Any way, shape, or form. I don't get it. By the way, it clearly worked, though, the World Series thing. She's gained like 300,000 followers since I last noticed. I don't know what that was, but I'm assuming most of this was World Series related. So good for her. I mean, if she's working it out, she's making a bigger name for herself. Good for her. And by all means, we're about to talk about the Dunkin' holiday menu. How can we not talk about the holiday collection from Meghan Markle? Again, it's different kinds of honeys and spreads and different kind of size jars and gift bags. It's really, I mean, listen, what she's done, $64 scented candles, what she's done is realize there are stupid suckers in the world who will buy anything a celebrity says. That's key. And then there's also people who just need to spend money on high-end feeling things, whether it's for clients or coworkers or whatever. And so there's probably a good amount of idiots that'll just buy this shit instead of buying some unnamed non-celebrity, overpriced, expensive, high-end feeling crap and make it be like, I got you the Meghan Markle thing. Isn't it great? I mean, never underestimate rich people's ability to waste money on stupid shit that other rich people just do not need. That they just don't need. And spice kits are now one of those things that I have to add to the list. The spiced cider mulling spice kit. That's the best part about it. It's a spiced cider mulling spice kit. And the lead example recipe she gives is spicing water and not cider. Huh? What? I can't. I don't even. How do you even? Nobody in the production meeting was like, question. Should we? Was I late? Did anybody suggest spicing cider with the spiced cider mulling kit instead of the water? Was that a? Did I? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. I want to sell a box of air. I want to sell a box of air and see if the morons who follow Meghan Markle will buy it. It's just a lovely box of air, and we'll put it in the finest. wrapping that we could imagine with a stupid palm tree logo and weird script writing that you can't make out. And I'll put like a little handwritten note in it, like, congratulations for purchasing your box of air. Hope this air breathes new life into your world. Say something stupid. Like I feel like somebody over in Meghan Markle, I think her kids, who are like, what, 3? I think they're just hitting buttons on ChatGPT and it's just spitting out stuff. This has to be all AI related, right? This can't be just human. Like, has to be like, I don't know, cider mulling spiced kit, and ChatGPT and then they just go on Amazon and find something and buy it and repackage it, mark up the price. Do you know how much I told you already, $16. $16 for the spice kit. Should we read the description as we've been known to do? Why not? Let's give Meghan Markle more screen time and read the stupid thing. Let's see if we can't find some joy in this. Okay. The spiced cider mulling kit. Great for spicing water up. A warm, vibrant blend of cinnamon, citrus peel, ginger root, clove, allspice, and nutmeg to be shared in good company. A holiday entertaining essential for cozy moments and celebratory occasions alike. The As Ever Spiced Cider Mulling Kit has a sweet, warm scent that welcomes guests into the heart of the home, the kitchen, of course, and invites them to stay a while. While our founder's favorite way to enjoy this seasonal delight is to pour the entire packet into a large pot of apple cider. Apparently not. Apparently it's water. And leave it bubbling away on the stove to share with friends and family. It's also a perfect blend to elevate a simple mug of apple cider into a single serving of something special. Tips for enjoyment. Tips. Mix your spirit of choice into a mug of our spiced cider mulling spices for a sweet libation best enjoyed by the fire. Add ice and sparkling water and have yourself a highball. Hold on a second. Let me see if I got this right. The thing that you have to boil to get to work. She wants us to now add ice and sparkling water to have ourselves a highball. Okay. Set the bar high for a soiree. Invite new friends and old for an evening of cheer, charm, and memories made over spiced cider and spirits, cinnamon sticks and vintage stirrers, and sliced fruit and amarena cherries. Could you imagine? Do you even know? I can't even imagine what I would do if a friend of mine, if Frankie or Jay Sabs or anybody was like, why don't you come on over for some cheer and charm? I'll be making Meghan Markle's spiced apple cider. It's going to be amazing. Invite new friends and old. You're going to have a lot of old friends. You'd be like, what happened to all your friends? Oh, I invited them over for the Meghan Markle thing. And now all my friends are now old friends. They are gone. They are no longer. Yeah. Not, hey, this is my oldest friend, but those are old. Those are no longer friends of mine. They have gone on. Keep a few kits on hand. A few kits on hand at $16 a kit. Again, does she not know there's a fucking global economic crisis coming our way? Does she not know that the world's economy is literally being propped up by fucking 3 AI chip stocks? Like the whole goddamn thing is going to fall apart any minute now. And the world is in a global panic, just waiting for the last little twig to just snap and give way and have the whole thing come crumbling down. And she's like, stock up on a few $16 kits of spiced fucking spices. The best part is she puts a cinnamon stick in a thing that's basically ground cinnamon. I mean, it's majority of what this shit is fucking cinnamon and lemon. And she's like, squirt some more lemon in it. Keep a few kits on hand in your pantry and swap spiced cider into any cider seasoned donut, cookie, or tea cake recipe for a festive holiday twist. All right, I'm going to give her that last one. It was not that bad. I would love to. I like swapping out. Who's going to rally against a fucking apple cider donut? Nobody. Not this guy. Not even from Meghan Markle. That is the best suggestion she has ever made. Brian chiming in with a good suggestion here. Nope, sorry, it was Mercury. Wish we had Snap money. Does she take EBT? Yeah. That's a good question. For all the people that ran out of Snap, they're not. Nobody's eating this week in America because the Snap benefits have run dry, and this moron is launching a $16 spiced packet for water. No. I'm the asshole. I'm the crazy one. Report me to all the social media sites. All right, I'm nominating. Hey, I'm Arena. All right. Like a hit in a spice kit and an asshole as ever stupid and been and I'm gonna take some people for their money. Hey, I'm Arena. What happened to those? Did we lose the Macarena guys? I feel like one of them died. The amazing part about the Macarena was that song came out when I think I was like 12 or something like that, and I didn't know anything about the entertainment industry. And even at 12, I remember seeing the music video for the Macarena for the first time and going, how did those old guys score such a pop hit? Had those guys are like, that's a 54-year-old Italian man just singing the or Spanish, Latin, whatever he is. I don't know. Looked too much like my barber was the point. That was the point. I'm like, that guy looks like he should be cutting hair in a salon somewhere, not singing the biggest pop hit of my life, basically. The biggest pop hit since Madonna and, Rico and fucking Giorgio, whatever their names were. They're just up there singing. And they had hot chicks. I mean, you knew it was clear as day. They were like, we got to just get some hot chicks. We got to put hot chicks in this. They were like, how many hot chicks will it take to distract from the fact that it's two old barbers fucking singing this global international hit, which is still a hit, which is amazing to me all these years later. Tuck a spice kit in your lingerie drawer. Okay. We should come up with Meghan's cuck candle and chair sold separately. We should come up with a cuck candle. What would be a good cuck candle? This is what I'm picturing. A really wide candle with one big thick wick that you light and another small, tinier wick that never gets lit, that just has to watch the bigger wick work its magic. Is that the greatest thing I've ever said? Or because I feel like that's how else could you have a good cuck candle other than two wicks where only one burns and the other one has to watch? Is that somebody write that in a comment so I could nominate it for comment of the episode? Thank you. I appreciate thank you, Bird. Appreciate that. It's right up there. Yeah. As I've said a lot of really stupid shit, so it's hard to see one thing rise to the top, but cuck candle, that's making it, that's going to be clip that. That'll cost us a couple of days of shadow banning on all the social media sites, but it might be worth it for the 4 people that'll wind up seeing it. And then I feel like Meghan found her audience. How could we find the cuck people? Because I feel like we're going to have by the time we get the shirts and the candles together, we're going to have we could be rolling in it from our cuck suckers like Meghan Markle fans. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. Cuck candle in the shape of a chair. That's not bad. That might be something. We just make it in the shape of a cuck chair. Yeah, that could be something. I like where we're going with this. All right. Anyway, I think we spent enough time on the on Meghan Markle. I like how she has tips for enjoyment. I wonder, mulling spice kit. All right, let's go to the Amazon. Amazon.com. Let's see. Mulled spice kit. Let's see what we got here. This is how Meghan Markle. What I'm showing you guys right now is how Meghan Markle does. This is her research and development. Guys, we're going to have a research and development team meeting on Tuesday. Make sure everybody's there and their Amazon accounts are up to date because we're going to see what our next product is going to be. Okay. All right. Here's a 6-ounce pack for $14. Here's a pack of 10 for $18. That's pretty good. Mulling Spice. Traditional 4-ounce packs, $14. Okay. It's a 2-ounce pack. Okay, so it looks like it's 4 ounces for $16, $15, whatever it is. How many? What was the 1.5 ounces of hers is $16. So again, she's found she literally 3 or 4 times the amount of whatever it is on Amazon is what she figures it out to be. She literally buys something on Amazon. She divides it by 4 or 5 and then sells it for what she bought it off of Amazon for. I mean, this is literally, I can't make that. We did the same thing with our edible flowers. It was the same exact packaging. Somebody explained to me how her spiced cider mulling spice kit is better or different. Did she study all the previous spice kits and goes, I just think if we have 4% more cinnamon, it's going to be better. And that's going to be the difference between ours and the rest. She's not even trying anymore. You used to have something proprietary in business. Now it's just, again, whatever, print out an Amazon page and throw a dart at it. Whatever it lands on is our next product. Ass Ever is good. Paul nominated. I like Ass Ever. Have we not done that before? Is that did you recycle that one? Because that's fucking great. Is it true that they got matching tattoos with As Ever? God, I hope not. That man has done enough damage to himself with this woman. We stocked mulling herbs at a health food store in bulk. Didn't sell. Why would it? You know why it didn't sell, Paul? Because it's not fucking $17.90 anymore. People aren't spicing things anymore. They just make tea. It's just tea. It's all tea. It's all tea. You know what I'm saying? It's just all tea. Nobody sits there and goes, I would like a spiced cider. If I only had a spice. They just make a fucking tea. It's tea. If you're in the mood for that cinnamony, cardamom-y, it's tea. You make a tea. You just go and you make a fucking Lipton tea. And that's the end of it. Nobody's like, we got to have, it's holidays are coming. Make sure we have enough spiced kits. Give me a break. Again, this you wouldn't know the world is about to crumble economically, judging by $64 candles and $16 1.5 ounces spice. 1.5 ounces of a spice. I could sneeze that away. Don't sneeze around the fucking As Ever mulling spice kit because it'll all be gone. It'll be all over the floor in a second. Enjoy it with loved ones who don't have allergies and can't sneeze it all away. That should be the commercial. All right. My doctor has told me I can only spend X amount of time on Meghan Markle because of my blood pressure. So we have to, legally and medically, he made me sign something. We have to move on. We have to move on. Shapiro versus Tucker. I didn't watch. Shapiro put out a whole episode. I think it was today. I didn't watch the whole thing. But Ben Shapiro, it must have been today because he was trending. He's been trending. Yeah, I think it was today. Shapiro put out a post and an episode. It was 49 minutes. Nobody can expect me. Don't expect me to buy Meghan Markle products. Don't expect me to sit through 49 minutes of Ben Shapiro. God bless anybody who can. I mean, if that's your guy, good for you. But 49 minutes of Ben Shapiro. I'd rather be forced to taste test Meghan Markle products than sit through a Ben Shapiro episode. But Ben Shapiro was reacting to something that Tucker Carlson did last week that has slowly just been building in virality. Tucker Carlson had Nick Fuentes, is that his name, on one of his episodes a couple of weeks ago, or a couple days ago, last week. And Ben Shapiro just today tweeted, no to the GROYPERS, gyropers, I think it's called. I think that's what they're calling themselves. I guess this is a particular group that Nick Fuentes runs. I think this is like one of his like deals. And essentially, Ben Shapiro took Tucker Carlson to task over this Nick Fuentes interview. And I don't have a problem with it because, you know, I looked up Nick Fuentes and he's not a great dude. A lot of anti-Semitism there, a lot of anti-woman feeling. And this is not just like, you know, run-of-the-mill liberal bashing because they just don't like somebody. Like this guy, this Nick Fuentes is a confused individual, I feel like, for the most part, but he's got a lot of followers. He's got a ton of followers, Fuentes. Here's the Ben Shapiro post. No to the gyropers, no to the cowards like Tucker Carlson who normalize their trash, no to those who champion them, no to demoralization, no to bigotry and anti-meritocratic horseshit, no to anti-Americanism, no. And so he put out a whole podcast episode, 49 minutes, and good for Shapiro on that. But I bring it up because I just want to point out what's happening on the right at the current moment, because I think I point out a lot of what's going wrong on the left. And boy, is it rough. It's a dumpster fire over there. But on the right, what we're noticing is this sort of splintering and this sort of division. And you see it in Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. This whole, if I don't immediately defend Judaism, Jewish people, or Israel, I'm catching a little fire, catching a little heat, and getting a little wave, getting a little juice, getting more followers, getting a little buzz, a few more articles than I usually do, a little bit more relevancy. We've seen it with Candace Owens. You know, she just loves to kind of rub this whole, well, the Jewish people were given, you know, he almost lost a supporter, Charlie Kirk, and this, and then that, and then allude, and maybe Jewish people aren't so great. That's kind of what you feel from Candace Owens. And then you have like all these people, like all of a sudden, just because, you know, they want to perpetuate this thing of like, well, if you don't back Israel or you don't back Benjamin, like it's okay to disagree with Benjamin Netanyahu. It's okay to have issues with things that have gone on in Gaza. Again, the Palestinian and Israeli conflict is a very vast, complicated subject matter. But notice what Candace Owens is doing. Notice what Tucker Carlson is doing. Do you need to have Nick Fuentes on in this moment? Or do you see, if we don't immediately agree with Jewish people, if we criticize, if we rub up against anti-Semitism a little bit, we're getting some numbers. We're doing some numbers here. And that's what these people are doing. That's what Tucker Carlson is doing. You bring a Nick Fuentes on, you're signaling to everybody, we're going to hear some anti-Semitic views out, see what it is. Now, full disclosure, I didn't sit through the entire Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson thing. I saw the intro. I saw a little bit of the beginning. It looks like Tucker was going to do what Tucker does, which is challenge people on their views. But at the same time, Ben Shapiro's critique of normalizing somebody's trash, how could you not agree with that? You know, I just don't. Again, I view podcasting as a very sacred platform, endeavor, whatever you want to call it. And I look at what Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and again, Don Lemon. I mean, I can go up and down the list of people who just do shitty things just to get numbers. And I don't love what they're doing. It's their right to talk about whatever they want. I understand how, like, I used to remember like David Duke going on shows back in the day and being embarrassed. Like, but at least then, like, the hosts would know how, if they would put somebody on who was like this, they knew how to just embarrass them and take them out and make them look stupid. In today's current media climate, it's like, how can I put you over on my platform? Like, I think this is one that Tucker Carlson is going to be embarrassed about as the time goes on, because if I got the opportunity to talk with Nick Fuentes, I don't know if I would take it, because I don't know if I would want to share the screen with somebody like that. Now, believe me, I would love to annihilate somebody who I disagree with. Like, who doesn't love that? But I've noticed that the right is like dabbling in this, like, let's stick our toe in the anti-Semitism waters a little bit here and ride these little viral moments to some more numbers. They're using the worst part of, the worst part of the worst people to help push their own little shows a little farther. Again, it's a line that I just refuse to cross, which is why you could put our subscribers up against Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and see the difference. But I refuse. I refuse to do that. I like to sleep at night. I like to put my head down on the pillow and know that everything I said that day, I stand by. Tucker Carlson normalized this dude. Don't give me the whole, because I'll tell you why. And this is something that podcast people need to think about, and Tucker Carlson needs to think about. Not everybody's going to listen. Some people are even just going to get a little clip. Most people are just going to hear about it from somebody else or read a headline. And they're just going to think, oh, this Nick Fuentes guy, Tucker trusts this guy, so I'll check him out, or I'll do this, or I'll do that, or whatever it is. And it's like, is that what you want your brand to be associated with? It's tough. It's tough. Look, it's one thing for these people. I think we've gotten to a place where you're like, even if you disagree with these people, they exist on the internet. They're on TikTok or Twitter or wherever they are. And, we've moved away from deplatforming these people, which I'm okay with. People are going to spout their own shit, but it's a different thing when you go on somebody else's show and they lay out the red carpet. And if I unmuted this video that Ben Shapiro is playing, it's lots of clips from Nick Fuentes saying dumb, suspect, stupid shit. And I don't know how old Nick Fuentes is now, but if I took any advice from somebody that looked like him with that baby face, I would the next day drink as much spiced cider kit from Meghan Markle so that I could no longer breathe. If I looked at Nick Fuentes with that bad, shitty, stupid podcast background and a $4 fucking microphone from Best Buy and thought what this guy is saying makes sense, I would literally call it quits the next day on life. That's what I would deserve. It befuddles me how stupid we have become as a society that we listen to these fucking morons. This guy is wearing a TJ Maxx suit next to a fucking $35 Best Buy microphone, and anybody is taking him seriously? You've got to be shitting me. We used to have such great standards. How people could look at this fucking baby face and go, yeah, he's making some good points. It's unbelievable to me. And Tucker Carlson will go on there and be like, well, it's just, you shouldn't be afraid of speech. No, I know that's not the argument. The argument is this who you want next to you? When they see his face, do you want them to see your face? When they go into work the next day and they're talking about the anti-Semite that was making some good points yesterday, and I thank God I caught him on Tucker Carlson, is as your name and your show the name that you want associated with somebody like this being spread around like that? I know for me it's a no. That's not what I want. I would never do that. But Tucker's just like, well, fuck it. I don't have that fine. And the crazy thing about Tucker is he doesn't even need the money. That guy had more money coming into the whole thing. I forget what business his family owns, but he's got endless supplies. He'll never run out of money, Tucker Carlson. It's just the fact that these guys will not be relevant, and they're so terrified of that, and they're willing to dumpster dive in anti-Semitism to keep themselves afloat. And it's disgusting behavior that I cannot stand. And I know we'll catch up to these people. Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Don Lemon. Those are the big three. Those are the big three culprits. You know, these former mainstream media people who have fallen from grace and now can't be as interesting as a Theo Vaughn or a Joe Rogan or an Andrew Schultz. I got to come up with one that's not a comedian. Scott Galloway. Scott. I don't know. There's others out there that know how to hold an audience and don't have to go to these degrees. I have to get this off my screen because just Nick, his fucking face irritates me almost as much as a Meghan Markle product. Not as much, but almost as much. It just drives me crazy. And I see, okay, here's the other weird part about this. Now, I've accused Candace Owens of some weird shit, and she deserves every last bit of it. The other day, and this missed an episode just by like a millisecond. We just didn't have time for it. But the other day, Kash Patel ordered that the DOJ not investigate foreign meddling into the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, you know my stance on this and what Candace Owens is doing. Because again, I think, does she have good intentions masked? She's masking her ability to just stay relevant and get numbers as good intentions for her friend Charlie Kirk. I don't believe that's what she's doing. I believe she's just cashing in on his death to, again, get big download numbers. I know that's what she's doing. But even a broke clock is right twice a day, as the saying goes. I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracies around Charlie Kirk's death. Some you look at and you go, oh, okay, that's interesting. Some you look at and you go, okay. The killer that they have in custody admitted to doing it. I don't know how it's tough to just ignore the person who's like, I did it. I turned myself in. That's hard to ignore. I criticize Candace Owens for trying to, tie in international. She was basically trying to blame the Israelis for his death, which I don't believe happened. Pontificating and stirring up shit. And again, playing off of people's anti-Semitism just to get you numbers is a horrible thing to do. That being said, I'm totally okay with our police, the Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, whomever, exploring and investigating all possibilities. I don't see anything wrong with that. Candace Owens doing what she's doing, shady, horrible, wouldn't do it. But the DOJ going, we're just going to make sure, or the FBI or whatever going, we're just gonna do some due diligence over here and investigate this. I don't see anything wrong with that. I do see something wrong with Kash Patel turning around and going, stop. You don't have, you're going to stop doing that. Like, I don't know why. All we do is investigate. Like, a big part of what all of these police force, whatever, law enforcement entities in the government, all they do is investigate. Why are you stopping them from investigating this thing? Again, if the DOJ has some leads that they want to see all the way through in the Charlie Kirk assassination, why are you stopping them? Why? And don't give me that I'm his friend and I'm there for the wife and we want to make sure. Well, if you really are, let them in, let them. I guarantee you 98% of the population, even those crazed right-winger people that want to name the ballroom, the Charlie Kirk ballroom, probably had no idea this investigation was even going on. Like, let them investigate. When you put a stop to that, that signals to me something is not right. Again, I don't think any of this is possible. But I am okay with the responsible people going, we'll turn over all the stones. We'll exhaust it until it's done. Okay, that's your job. Go do that. You get back to me when you're done. But for Kash Patel to be like, hey, stop doing that. Now that to me does raise a little bit of a flag where it's like, why? Why are you making them stopping? Let them do it. What are they going to leave? 2 or 3 people on it? Let them do it till the end of the year, till whatever, till they feel like they've exhausted all possibilities. I don't see anything wrong with that. It's weird to say, and I don't know if this is just like the conspiracy theories just piling up till you can't get around conspiracy theories anymore. But Kash Patel stopping that investigation to me was weird. Weird enough to, like, even if Kash Patel is like, that's a waste of money, just let it fizzle out on its own. How much longer could it go for? But you're stopping it, but it draws more attention to the fact that you stopped this thing. I don't know. It seems strange to me, but kudos to Ben Shapiro. Again, Ben Shapiro is Jewish, so I get that he's a bit more sensitive to this and a little bit closer to this whole thing. I think it's important to call these people out for their just antiquated ways. You know, again, I feel bad for conservatives who, you know, people like Nick Fuentes, like literally take their platform and hijack it from them, you know, and bring in all this bigotry to it. Like, it's unfortunate. And it's a bad representation for conservatives. And it's not even their fault. And you have Tucker Carlson, who, again, is like somebody that you entrust with your conservative brand and your values. And he platforms a guy like Nick Fuentes, and people are feeling betrayed, and they should be. It's a terrible thing to do. All for what? Because you need fucking numbers? Because you're just marching off into the sunset of irrelevancy? Because you can't find a way to be interesting enough for an audience to want to tune into you every time you put something out, unless you're shocking or whatever. I mean, I equate what Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson are doing to the shock jocks of the late 90s and early 2000s. There was a time in radio where if you weren't shocking everybody every 5 minutes, you were irrelevant and you did not get paid. And so from Howard Stern to Opie and Anthony to all of these different radio brands, radio teams and shows, which you had a few interesting ones that were really talented and good, you got all these wannabes who just tried to outshock the next person. Your Bubba the Love Sponges and all these crazy assholes and hot dog and beer wings, potatoes in the morning shows, all these fucking crazy people that were all doing just really poor jobs. And that whole industry just cratered around it. Not everybody can be a shock jock, and everybody just shock jock the hell out of each other until there was nothing left. And that's exactly where I see Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson doing it. How much anti-Semitic shit can we spread until eventually we just cause some, you know, we do something that is, you can't take back, you know, that you can't take back. Just have a fucking brain, Tucker Carlson, and don't hide behind this freedom of speech bullshit. Know who you're putting on your airwaves and be responsible. If he puts that guy on and just fucking massacres him for 45 minutes, taking him to task for everything, well, then great. But I watched the beginning of that interview. He was like, tell me how you got into all this stuff. And the guy, this fucking kid literally said, I listened to Mark Levine, and Mark Levine one day talked about how white people were no longer going to be the majority, and was this a good idea? And that's basically how he got his start in thinking this way. I mean, that was, you can watch the interview. It's literally in the first 5 fucking minutes. The stupidest shit that Mark Levina has ever fucking said, and this stupid idiot is sitting there listening to it as a high schooler going, this guy's making a good fucking point. How is that a good point? How is it? I remember the first time I heard somebody say, white people won't be in the majority anymore, and it'll be just a mix of minorities, and thinking to myself, well, yeah, that's probably about right. That's probably how it, with everybody just marrying each other, that's, yeah. That's eventually how it's going to go. It's the big fucking, great. Who gives a shit? Fucking cares. There's a certain particular interesting set of lunacy and morons that go, oh, we should figure out how to stop. Like, why? Like, never, not even for a second. I mean, this is not moral superiority. Never for a second did I think to myself, well, we got to keep the white people in charge. Like, no, who fucking cares? I've never felt any affinity towards other white people in my entire fucking life. I hate when I have to fill something out and they make me write white. Like, I fucking can't stand that to this day. I don't feel like a white person. I feel like an Italian American. Can I just be an Italian American? I'll be a white person. Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry. I feel bad for the conservatives who get their little shit jacked. There's a little bit I feel bad for all the white, like as if we have a meeting where we're like, hey, other white people, how do we stay in like, that's not how I feel. That's not how a majority of white people feel. And these fucking idiots, I can't. Let's talk about Duncan Holiday. Something I had to put this in a good spot to come off of this, because I just, and then people go, and then Tucker Carlson will turn around and go, the erosion of American culture and all that. You're doing it. You're part of the problem. Am I high? I don't think so. This is a Monday show. This isn't a Friday show. I'm not that. No, not even close. I would love to write other. I just hate it. I used to back in the day, right? I used to check other and write in like Italian American, but then I thought that's so fucking douchey too. I just hate that it's even a thing. Again, that's an example that like, you ever go and apply for a job, you got to fill out all that stuff. That's an example where liberalism went too far. It went too far. Every time I got to check white on there, it drives me crazy. It just fucking drives me crazy. Or that I'm not a protected veteran, or that I don't have a disability. Like, are these issues? Like, again, these are all things that started off as nice things. Like my wife is, she's looking to make a career change. She, the kids are a little more grown up, and she worked in the school right here because she wanted to be around for the kids. And now she wants to get back to doing what she loves to do. She's been applying for jobs like crazy. Every day she's got to fill out like 19 times. She's white, not a protected veteran. And she's just like, how much of a problem was this that everybody has to fill these things out now? Can't there be a button that we can check that if you are one of those things, it just like, hey, are you any one of these special things? You check that and then you go on to the other things. They just like, everybody's got to fill these things out. Like, are people really not? Are they not hiring veterans? Like, has this been a thing? Like, when was the last time we shit on our soldiers? Vietnam? It's 2025. Is this still a thing? Oh, that's my favorite part. Are you white? Yes. Are you Hispanic? Are you a non-Hispanic white? I'm a non-Hispanic white. I don't know how we got here, other than we listen to liberal people too much. This is what happens when you let liberal people go. What kind of white are you? Are you a Hispanic white or a non-Hispanic white? I'm a non-Hispanic white. Yeah. I'm not Italian or from New York, or I identify. When I go out, I put on my non-Hispanic white clothes. I put on my non-Hispanic white pants one leg at a time. Actually, no, because I'm non-Hispanic white. I wake up in the morning and I float above my dresser and all my clothes just magically come upon me. And I look down at all the Hispanic whites and all the other non-whites out there. And I go, if you people only had the power of a non-Hispanic white, you'd be able to put your pants on 2 legs at a time. That's what I do. And if you think I'm kidding, just come to the next non-Hispanic white meeting and you'll see us all joking about this, about how much far superior we are than everybody else. Sometimes I do wake up and I look at us and I go, we've made it so, like, we're so art and poetry and filmmaking, like space. We walked on the moon. Look at all we've accomplished. And then other times I look around and I go, what the fuck are we doing? How did we get here? It was all dumb luck that got us everywhere. It was crazy. It was insane. You know? Christella says disabled vets are still getting shit on. Yeah, is that right? Is that a thing? I just, again, like I literally, I watch my wife, like she's on LinkedIn and she's on Indeed and I just see her clicking the same boxes over and over again, just clicking the same fucking boxes. And I think to myself, if you're applying for something online, how do they know you're a disabled veteran or you're disabled to begin with? Like all you have is a resume. How can people be? How? I don't get it. Merck says vets get no disrespect. Do you find that to be true? Because I would imagine that people would be falling all over themselves to hire a veteran. Like, again, if I'm marketing a business, I'd be like, we're fucking stockpiling veterans over here. You want to support the veterans? You want to support America? Come buy our turkey sandwiches. All we do is hire veterans to make turkey sandwiches all day. Like, I would imagine that would be a positive thing, not a negative thing. Again, it's not Vietnam anymore. We're not mad at the soldiers. Everybody wants to support the soldiers. What jobs they're like, we just can't have we can't have a. I don't get it. As far as the disability stuff goes, again, I don't have a problem with protecting disabled people. But in the application process, it's just a resume. How could you tell? I mean, later on, if you're starting to call in interviews, okay, you can be like, hey, by the way, before we get this interview going, I'm a protected veteran or whatever you're going to say. Or I have disability protections. Okay, great. Duly noted. What's crazy is people are going to be assholes no matter what you do, no matter how many boxes they make all of us check. You're still going to get a guy in there who's just like, oh, I'm not going to hire this person because they're fucking probably Nick Fuentes fans, douchebags. Anyway, Duncan Holiday. Focus up, people. We'll be here all night with me bitching and moaning. It is a Monday. I guess I'm in a bad mood. I thought I was in a good mood. I don't know. I'm excited about the Duncan menu. I am excited about the Duncan menu. Now, we got the Starbucks menu a little while ago. I think we talked about it. I think we mentioned the Starbucks stuff, which Starbucks, they had some, let me see here. I got the Starbucks menu. They have a pull apart. Okay. Here's what Starbucks gave us in early October. Peppermint mocha. I'm suspect of peppermint and chocolate together. I'm a little rough with. Now we're adding coffee into that. Don't care for it, Starbucks. Caramel brulee latte, iced sugar cookie latte, the eggnog latte, which I think is the holiday drink. Like, that's a holiday drink. Chestnut, who said, as ever, mulled spiced body wipes. That's fucking good, Paul. Nominate that. I also missed another nomination somewhere. I saw people saying nominate. If Dunkin' or Starbucks works a partnership in with Meghan Markle, I have to leave. I have to. That will be the end. That'll be, if it's the Dunkin' Meghan cider spiced latte, that'll be it. I will bid everybody adieu. I will relinquish I will have to leave public life. I can't. I wouldn't be able to go through it. Let's not even joke about it. No, I can do a peppermint bark. I don't really like mixing the mint and Andy's candy. That's about it. but they're like this size for a reason. You can have one of them and then you're like, okay, that's enough. I'm not a mint chocolate chip person. That's not my style, man. That's not my style. Those are the returning holiday drinks from Starbucks: chestnut praline latte, eggnog latte, iced sugar cookie latte, caramel brulee latte, peppermint mocha. New and returning food items: iced gingerbread chai, polar bear cake pop. That's new. That sounds good. I don't even know what that's made of, but it just sound good. It's like, oh, new cake pop. Cinnamon pull apart bread, which is new. The snowman cookie, the cranberry bliss bar, and the sugar plum cheese Danish. That is pretty good. The cranberry bliss bar, I've never been a fan of. Not a huge fan of that one. But I like the other ones that they have. Although I've stopped eating these things. I can't eat these things. There's 5 million calories in them. Starbucks is bringing back their Red Cup Day, where you get a free Red Cup with a purchase of any of the holiday lattes. And supposedly there's some Hello Kitty co-branded merchandise that's going to be available pretty soon. I don't know what Hello Kitty has to do with the holidays. But November 6th. So that is a couple days away. Thursday? Is Thursday November 6th? November 6th, Starbucks holiday lineup hits stores. Duncan saw that and went, we're going to Meghan Markle, you guys. We're coming out with our lineup on November 5th. So you got a full day's head start on Duncan's holiday menu, which has a festive lineup. And here's what they have: the debut of the cookie butter cloud latte and the berry sangria refresher. Peppermint mocha comes back here. Toasted white chocolate signature lattes. There's a new raspberry striped croissant, which goes back to some of their old creations around the holidays. The ultimate bacon jam breakfast sandwich and bacon jam grilled cheese. Okay. Let's see what the cookie butter cloud latte is. Because I don't know about you, but I've had some of these cookie lattes. I know cookie butter is a thing. I didn't realize we were going to start putting clouds in our coffee. That's where I didn't see that one coming. You know, I didn't have that one on my 2025 bingo card, that we would start to incorporate clouds into our coffees. I mean, is it like a large vacuum cleaner that they go out back the Dunkin' and they just start vacuuming in some of the clouds and putting them into the latte? Have you ever taken a sip of a coffee in your entire life and went, "Oh, that's delicious. What'd you put in there? Clouds? Is that clouds I taste?" A very, very earthy tones in this coffee. Very earthy, almost mocha-like. And is that a nimbus? Is that a nimbus cloud I taste in there? I believe so. I believe that's a cumulus cloud. Did I even get them right? I don't even know. If I got any of those clouds right, somebody write my high school science teacher, because they'll just be fucking thrilled. They'll be thrilled that they got by. Before I read the description, what joke did I miss? Christella, where's the joke? I tried brown sugar cortada at Starbucks and it was yummy. Yeah, listen, Mark, it's all going to be yummy. It's fucking as much sugar as you get. A cortado is basically, is that the, I think I might be mistaken, that Cuban coffee thing? I think a cortado is a Cuban coffee thing. I think. Anyway. I didn't really know what Cuban coffee was. And then a friend of mine was like, "Oh, you got to try this Cuban coffee." And I'm like, "Oh, it's really bitter espresso with a lot of sugar in it." Like, yeah, Italians had that years ago. We called it the Manhattan Special. And it's basically why all of my grandparents died with less than 10 toes. Okay. It is a fucking sugar diabetic inducing beverage. You know, it really is. It really, really is. It's just all sugary deliciousness. This every one of these flavors we're talking about should be frozen and served as the intended sort of device, and that's ice cream. These are all just drinkable ice creams at this point. Like your coffee needs to be black and bitter and a little irritated and angry. You know what I'm saying? Like just in a dark mood. It's like a New Yorker. Coffee should be like New Yorker. It's just a little like dark mooded and bitter and just, just angry. We still don't know what joke I missed. I'm really annoyed that I missed the previous. I like to get on to the comment. Let me see. There was an arrow thing before where somebody wanted to nominate somebody else, and I missed it. Shit. I'm seeing a lot of the Tucker comments. What's interesting is the whole I feel like we're starting to see MAGA split a little bit. Not that I want to go back to that fucking thing. I missed it. Sorry. Carly Simon had clouds in her coffee. I feel the earth move under my feet. I hear the sky tumble. Is that when the sky tumbled down into her coffee? Was that part of the... My comment about cuck bucks scroll up. Shit. Sounds like it was good. Can I pay for my Starbucks with cuck bucks? That is good. All right. That was worth going back for. Thank you. Thanks, Miss Justed. Nominated. Agree, and not a mint with chocolate fan. Both are good separately. Fresh mint with chocolate is good, though. Fresh mint with chocolate. Yeah, I guess so. You know what's weird, though? I like a good mint, too. But I don't know if it's gum that trained me. Like, gum's got... Could you imagine a chocolate minty gum? It's fucking gross. It's kind of gross. Cuckmas is coming. With old Saint Cuck. Yeah. It was Cuck Clouds. That's pretty good. Oh, yes. You're so vain. She had clouds in her coffee. Yeah. All right. Let's go back to this description. After years of cookie butter cold brew craze, Dunkin' is taking the seasonal flavor that guests love to new heights. That's important. Inspired by a viral menu hack, the cookie butter cloud latte combines rich espresso with notes of brown sugar and baked cookie flavor. Served iced, it's topped with creamy cookie butter cold foam and finished with crunchy cookie butter crumbles, adding a dreamy twist to a Dunkin' favorite. I'm not sure what the cloud part is in all of this. Was it the dreaminess, the new heights line, or was it the cold foam? Cold foam kind of looks like clouds to me. Was that what makes it a cloud latte? It's not fair anymore. You can't just write words on a page and expect, it has to make sense. I'm sorry, but we have to have some form of standards. You can't just say, this is a cloud latte, everybody, and expect all of us to just fucking accept it. Okay? I can't. After Cuck Mint, nominated. I'm sitting in the parking lot of a store waiting for my power to be restored. Oh no, Miss Justice. What parking lot? I'm curious. Because that was a very sus way to say it. I'm sitting in the store of a parking lot at a store. Like, you didn't name the store. It's either a name that we don't know. It's not like a chain name that would be common to everybody else, or it's a store that you're too embarrassed to say, so you just went with store. Glory hole a day. Christella enjoyed that. Santa was just sitting there. We all just freaked out. Sending big hugs, Miss J. Oh, that's nice. Cuck foam nominated. Yeah, that stinks, Miss Justice. I hope it comes back soon. It's a name you don't know. It's a Canadian small town. Canadian Tire? Is it Canadian Tire? It was weird to me how that Canadian Tire's logo looked like a strawberry. As somebody who loved hockey and watched a lot of hockey, I just was like, what's that strawberry company? Until one day I was like, oh, it's a tire company. That makes a lot of sense. Is it BJ Maxx? It's a good question, Paul. Is it BJ Maxx? Now, Miss Justice, you have to tell us. I need to know. Unless you feel like it's a privacy thing. I just would love to know. What is it? The Polite Store? What? With the small town store, the little Canadian store that you don't want to tell us ugly New Yorkers. She shouldn't, Paul. See, that's disrespectful. Hilarious, but disrespectful. Is it an In-N-Out poutine? Is that what you guys got up there? It's poutine. It's just like In-N-Out, except it's all poutine. We just poutined everything up on the In-N-Out burger menu. It is a privacy. Okay, good. Yeah, then don't share it with us. If we're going to instantly know where you live just by the naming this store, then don't name it. Okay, so that's the cookie butter cloud latte. I do have the media contact for Dunkin', and I'm going to tell you right now, this is a promise I'm going to make to you. I'm going to invite somebody from the Dunkin' Corporation to come on the show and explain why it's a cookie butter cloud latte. And if they don't have a good answer, I will embarrass them until they hang up the phone. You know, we don't do guests on this show, but I feel like there's got to be some corporate policing here where you just can't name things whatever you want to name it and expect us to all just go along with it. It's just not. It's not going to happen. If we're going to hold Meghan Markle to a standard, then damn it, we got to hold Dunkin' to a standard. Also, okay, I'll tell you the grossest part about this cookie butter cloud latte paragraph that we just read, where it says it combines rich espresso with notes of brown sugar and baked cookie flavor. That is so unappealing to me. Baked cookie flavor. Shouldn't it be baked cookies with notes of brown sugar and baked cookies? Baked cookie flavor to me is just like what chemical combination you came up with to flavor something that tastes like baked cookie flavor. You know, it's really disgusting. It's really, really disgusting. Kaylin, and I ordered a shirt back at the beginning of October and still have not received it. From where? From our store or the Meghan Markle store? Because I got to be honest with you, if it was from the Meghan Markle store, you might not be getting it ever. And the stuff I was clicking to track it still hasn't been sent yet. Okay. Kaylin, I apologize for that. I will fire somebody over this if I have to. Do me a favor. I'll screenshot this email. Send a little thing over to this email and we'll make sure we get down to the bottom of it for you. I apologize. We carefully chose our merch provider just because of their customer service. And because it drives me crazy when people order stuff and they don't get it immediately or they have a problem with it. So please email me so I can just take all of my Meghan Markle rage out on somebody and try and make sure we get you that. How do I resolve this guy? We'll try and get that resolved for you. And I apologize for that. I hate that you ordered something from us and you didn't get it right away or get a good answer on it. Let me know and we definitely seen some issues with the merch people, but for the most part, they're pretty good. But please shoot me an email with whatever your order thing was, screenshots and whatever, and we'll get it to the right people to make sure that they get the product out to you. And my apologies for that. I don't want everybody to start thinking that this is a Meghan Markle type of operation around here. You know, we take our merch very seriously. By the way, save up those dollars because, you know, we've got that cuck chair merch that we're working on. So we're trying very hard to get that out to everybody as quick as we possibly can. Also, some news on the top 500 comedy list that we're working on. I don't like to admit defeat, but it might have to be 300. I just feel like we're starting to throw people on the list that are just... we're putting people on the list just for the sake of it. I feel like if we make it 300 at this point, it'll be really competitive and more compelling. Just putting that out there. So we're working on that. The cuck chair merchandise, the cuck chair candle, I think is the biggest winner ever. We're going to really try and figure that out. Charge people $64 for it. It's going to be great. But we will get to the bottom of that for you, Kaylin, and I apologize for that. Let's see. Comment of the episode. We've had a lot of nominations, even some that I missed. I have to say, as much as I liked Hey, I'm Arena, and can I pay with my Starbucks with Cuckbucks, I'm going to go with Ass Ever. Ass Ever was just so delicately put in there in the middle of this episode.
Show me potato salad.
Paul, you got another comment of the episode, my friend.
Maybe we should go now.
Go ahead.
We'll catch you guys on Wednesday. Enjoy those Taco Tuesdays, everybody. Bye-bye.